Continuing our conversation with Dr. Dave Lalman about some of the broader aspects of raising livestock. This week, he and Curtis talk about some of the ins and outs of making a profit in the cow-calf operation.
We're joined now by Dr. Dave Lalman, our OSU Extension beef cattle specialist here at Oklahoma State University. And Dave, recently we talked about the changes over time when it came to how much it costs to raise a cow here in Oklahoma. But, taking time out of it, looking at different productions, what are the variabilities there for profitability?
Yeah, that's interesting. There's tremendous variability from one ranch to another in terms of how much money they're able to make. And a lot of that variation is actually under the producer's control. And so I thought it might be useful to go through some, kind of dig into that and break it down a little bit. And just so people would know what keys are that might really have an opportunity under their control where they might be able to make some progress in that profitability.
All right, well, let's stop right in. What do you have for us?
Well, so, again, I'm going to use the Kansas Farm Management Association data set. They do a really nice job, and they had a publication that was actually published in 2021. So we'd like to have a little more recent publication because, the business structure has changed with these extremely high cattle prices. Nevertheless, it points out those keys that I just mentioned. First of all, but the way they break up their data is really nice because they look at the top 1/3 profitability operations in their data set and compare it to the bottom 1/3 or the least profitable operations. Yeah. Okay, and the difference in those two groups in terms of net profit, net return to management was $460 per cow. Yeah. Okay, if you look at it on a per cow basis. Huge difference. And then if you break that down a little bit, $176 of that, 460 is due to more income. But the bigger portion, $284 of that difference is due to controlling costs or pushing those costs down. And so, boy, that's Dr. Doy had told me for many years that was the key to profitability in the cow-calf operation. Much as I hate to admit it, she was right.
So what are some other things that you've noticed too as variabilities in the changes and how that impacts, from ranch to ranch?
So the total difference in top 1/3 to bottom 1/3 is about $460, a big deal. And $284 of that difference has to do with costs. So let me just mention a few of those key costs, and most of these, again, people kind of have control of. So you asked me in another one of these SUNUP programs and suggested that probably feed was the most expensive part of raising a cow.
That's what I was kind of thinking, yeah.
And you were right, because in that data set, it's about $145 more spent in the least profitable group compared to the most profitable group. $145 more spent on purchased or harvested feed per cow. Okay, does that make sense? And falls right in line. The other thing, and really interesting thing, is that in their data set, people who spent $15 or the more profitable group spent $15 more on pasture cost. $145 less on feed costs, $15 more on pasture costs. So they're kind of, maybe renting, leasing, owning a little more pasture and having to rely less on purchased and harvested feed, and that turns out to be more profitable. Three other things I'll just mention right quick that go into that $284 increased cost. One would be depreciation, more on the lower profitable operations, about $32 more per cow machinery cost. And so those highly profitable producers are more careful about just purchasing machinery that depreciates and minimizing, steel on the ranch or on the farm, steel meaning machinery. And then labor, $63 per cow, less labor spent in the more profitable operations. And so, interesting that, maybe those folks have better working facilities, that their cattle are easier to gather, they're just more efficient in and their feeding system is maybe efficient, convenient, so on and so forth, so that they can spend less money on hired labor. In terms of the feed cost, I mean, it is, the devil is in the details, right? Just like you're talking about. Do you know how much you intend to deliver? Is that what you're really delivering? What you are delivering, is it appropriate? And is it the best fit for the forage and the cattle stages of production? And we'll get into that next time.
I look forward to it, Dave. Dr. Dave Lalman, OSU Extension Beef Cattle Specialist here at Oklahoma State University.